BBC special, you know, the meows and things like that. I love that stuff, and I kind of wish that Netflix or whatever would give that a comeback, because I think it would be a good thing. I'm already getting tells. It's like everybody knows my characters, and so they're just like, I want points. Not that I blame anybody for this.
No, I blame them. Immediately blame. I blame everybody.
3 points by hanging out with the Gimp. It's not bad. Not a bad deal at all.
I mean, I hang out with you all the time, and you don't pay me.
That's true. But you get to try on hats.
Why did you get to try hats? I should have brought the hat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show it off sometime. They haven't seen my hat guy persona unless they follow me on social media. I've recently decided I've become a hat guy. Now, that's not to say that I'm just always going to be a hipster hat wearer, but I went to Savannah and happened to pick up a bunch of really awesome couple of really awesome hats in my mind. So there you go.
Well, my new strategy for outfits is I've just been wearing pajamas to work.
See, that's we have a Halloween thing coming up, right, in the office.
This is just
so this is Halloween costume, and you can wear your PJs to work that day, and nobody can even comment on it because you're wearing a costume.
I'm wearing PJs right now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but you've got enough of the video game out, you know,
this is Magic
uniform.
This is Magic the Gathering.
No, but you got the video game uniform, which is a hoodie, a T-shirt, and then some kind of jeans and sneakers, and that is the official uniform of the video game industry. So, yeah. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch.tv/DDO stream, YouTube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live, and Facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Wanatuk thought I was going to do Killing Time. I was going to, and then I ran out of, well, I got distracted.
Mostly by hats.
By hats and other, and actual work-related things I had to do. And I just have not had time to put up the LFM, and I figure by the time we put up the LFM and get the group going and get in there, I just am not going to have time to run it today. Historically, I've actually had some challenge getting raid groups going on the noon live stream here. But hopefully we can do that in the near future. I have got a special guest with me. Linabelle is here. Hello.
What's up?
You've brought your guitar, and you are here to sing ballads throughout the day.
Yes.
Ballads from bards.
Yes.
Go. No,
All
I'm
right.
kidding.
So we have this. We actually. I know it was somewhat of a forum joke, but I did want to make that perfectly clear. We actually did spend quite some time on a serious discussion on the technical limitations of bringing specifically kazoos as a bardic instrument.
Ooh.
And so the challenge is that historically kazoos have always required an evil alignment to play, and we currently don't support that in DDO.
That's true. That's true.
And there's the variants, like for example, if you use a one-man band suit, we need to have Thrycreen and stuff like that. And it's the whole technical limitations, they just continue to compound.
Yeah.
So I believe we're settling on air horn as just the generic no proficiency required. You know, we're like, bardic inspiration, and then bah, and then yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Either that or it's going to be us singing, all of us singing together.
Oh, God.
Which I'm sure will go great.
That'll do a lot of untyped damage.
It'll
that's
do a
for
lot
sure.
It'll probably explode me in real life. To willingly sing in front of this level of audience, I would rather eat both of my hands.
All right, so why you are actually here is a thing I'm going to put up on the page right now before we get going here on Night Revels in a little bit. We yesterday were able to put up some updates, or something we're going to be doing in the near future on bard changes. Steelstar wrote this, or put together this post and published it, and you are one of the main people kind of behind the scenes working on it. And so we're here to talk a little bit about what's going on, how it's going to work, and basically why everything you are doing sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's actually been getting some pretty good feedback. All right, so the main idea is that, you know, with bards we've been, for years now, buffing on a bard has meant everyone stand still at the start of the dungeon while I play song after song after song after song, and it takes kind of a lot of time, and people sometimes lose patience with it, especially as the game has gone on. Some of those buffs have been They share the same buff with things you might get from items or from enhancements or from ship buffs and things like
the
that.
shirt's coming off, or the jacket's coming off. The jacket's coming off. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's warm in here.
It
it's
is.
very warm.
I know,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of Twitch stream. I just watched myself get fired.
No, I would just cut the camera. But and pretend nothing happened. It'll be fine. But nonetheless, it's about time that we've been able to work on this, and you've come up, along with Steelstar here, a pretty good plan to hopefully make some adjustments that will retain the reason to have a bard, continue to sort of have a bard be a kind of a main buffer, and kind of work better with the modern game environment. So let's talk a little bit about it. What would you say are the top 3 things that are happening here?
Alright, so as you said, the main complication with playing a bard in modern DDO is that your buffs take a very long time and do very little relatively. So the main impetus behind this is how could we make the experience of playing a buffing bard, someone who's dedicated parts of their character in order to help other people or themselves, because you can sing to yourself if you're alone. How do we make that feel the same, but just take less time and actually do something? And so what we came up with was a sort of a 2-pronged approach in that, well, first of all, the main songs themselves, like Inspire Courage, Inspire Competence, and Heroics, and Greatness, we're going to be tweaking those effects and making it a little bit easier for those effects to actually go up over time, so you can, in the future, we'll be able to find items that actually change how your bard songs play and stuff like that. But more importantly, bard songs now stack with everything except for other bard songs. We no longer have to worry about random items just taking large chunks out of different individual things, different spells eating up 1 or 2 of your bonuses. Honestly, bard buffs should have always been unique, and it's really been we've over time kind of infringed upon.
For a long time, they were unique. It's just really, I think, in recent years that they've started to not be.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's but the big things it's very hard to get across in text. But I've been trying my best. Is that for the generic songs like Inspire Courage, your bard is now just constantly singing those. And behind the scenes, we've done a lot of work. The aura buffs that War Changers used to have, they were actually kind of a performance concern, especially when you have multiple of them running in the same public area. So behind the scenes, we were able to clean up a lot of that performance concern, and now it's a really nice and clean. Everybody in the party within a certain number of meters take this effect every 10 seconds.
Now that is a little different in that, I'm trying to think of the one with the little notes that come flying from all the characters when they're buffed. That gives them like a spell point boost. That's going to be a little bit different under this scenario because you're going to have to be near the bard to get that effect. Is that correct?
There's essentially bard songs right now on live. There's like 10 different categories. But there's your actual bard songs, the real feats that actually sing songs, and those, by the way, are performance nightmares. Those are the worst part of the game. And we're able to clean up a lot of the stuff behind the scenes with this. But then there's single target bard songs that come out of Spellsinger, and then there's your AoE songs that come out of Spellsinger, and then there's the chants that come out of War Chanter. And we're kind of just, we're trimming them down so that you've got 2 options. Either they're a big AoE and you're constantly singing them, and all you got to do is stay near the bard and you've got the buffs, or they're part of your single target bardic inspiration, and so you select somebody or you sing it to yourself, or select yourself and you sing it, and you'll get every single thing that you could possibly have sung single target. So if you want to get fully buffed, just choose somebody, you play the bard song, they're buffed, and you're good.
For years, I've kind of joked about the power chord, but in some ways, that's a little bit like how this is going to work.
This is a power chord in a sense, but it's a power chord with some of the stuff is just, we're like Inspire Courage, you just got to stay near the bard in order to get it. And what we want to promote is that no matter what kind of party that you're playing, as long as you're near a bard or a bard has buffed you in some way, having a bard in the party makes everybody else shine.
Yeah.
It's the best 12th member, the best 6th member of a group, you know, and they can be built in a variety of different ways, but like you really gotta if someone really dedicates themselves to being a party player, it should be
what happened to all
easier.
this? Oh my god, what happened here? Jeepers.
I have no idea.
I'm on Night Revels and we just got swamped by a billion freaking mobs. Holy moly, what happened there? Where did all these mobs come from?
Well, I can definitely say it was not me.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Ouch.
not me.
I died in Night Revels. That doesn't
That's
happen
awful.
yet. I know.
You know, if you die in Night Revels, you die in real life.
Oh, no.
It's awful. Yeah.
Well, it was a good run.
It was a good run.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted to point out here, you can't see the chat, Linabelle, because I don't have
I actually
a monitor
I have
for you.
I put it on my phone.
Oh, did you? If you look at my Dragonborn's head,
It's really small, man.
I've got
bad eyes.
I've got the lovely new cosmetic of the Varg
Oh, the
wheel
wings? Nice.
And in my, I know it's a bug. It probably will have to get fixed.
What?
But while it lasts, I'm going to be the coolest Dragonborn in all of Eberron.
But no, that's what's supposed to work.
It's supposed to have little floppy wings by your ears?
Yeah, it's because it's, I don't want to go into too much detail because how DDO handles how it renders stuff is, like, it's very niche, but helmets as in helmet keys, whether or not they show ears, which means whether or not they show their face or not, it's a completely different system than this, which is a mobile mesh effect. It's essentially a spell effect being held onto the player by the equip effect of the item itself. It's a completely different system than our generic helmets, so the vast majority of the game's cosmetics will not work on Dragonborn because their head is a helmet. It's already using that in order to animate their face. But stuff like the crown and elemental victory, things that are like animated or displayed or glowing also, like the glow effects on certain helmets.
So are you telling me that the Dragonborn head is meant to have the Varg wheel wings come out of its head?
Working as intended.
Sweet.
I get that stamp. I need to get that stamp.
Yes.
We have a QA denied stamp. We need to get a working as intended stamp and like a nerf stamp or something like that. We gotta.
All right. So when someone says we need to get rid of this because it looks silly, I can say no. The team has officially determined that this is working as intended.
Blow an air horn at them.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah.
We were considering because so this is completely unconfirmed. Okay, so do not quote me on this that this is confirmed. This is chatter on the dev team, but we're considering having a tiefling bard we're considering it. So we're considering this is again part of the instrument discussion. What would it take in order to get an alternate instrument for a tiefling? Because there's a variety of things we could do. We could really differentiate them. You know, like it's you know, we could really do something. But so we're thinking actually just a trombone. So you know, you just oompa looping around. You know, I think a trombone would really.
A trombone would be good. Ranged attack. You know. You
yes.
Could, there you go. Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
From the chat, Teutonic Drone, could you reconsider having a sustaining song scale of positive, negative, and repair spell power? Instead, just pick one. No. I mean, maybe. I actually do not know if I could do that, is the thing. It's a effect. If it's possible, I'll take a look, but that to me smells like something that DDO is going to yell at me about for some reason.
Yeah. And so a lot of these bonuses are being retyped to... Now, to some extent, this already existed as a bonus channel, but if my understanding is we're adding a bunch of things to the music bonus.
Yeah, well, it's...
Right?
Believe it or not, it is actually extremely difficult to get bardic music. For some reason, internally it's bardic music, but to the player we cast it as just music bonuses. So there was a bit of a technical hurdle at the very beginning of my implementation of this in order to yell at DDO enough so that it remembers that music bonuses are a thing. It's kind of the maximum of DDO development of what you think shouldn't take a long time secretly takes all of your time.
Yeah.
Like a bit of a spoiler for update 41. I'm making items for it. Shocker. Better write that down. But one of the things I wanted to do for that was have scaling resistance to chaos damage, and that took me a lot longer than the rest of the items for this update.
Nice.
To just put that on the chaos thing.
Yep.
And oh gosh.
Yeah, that's true. As a matter of fact, the Players Council just yesterday got their first kind of early look at what might end up being the.
I don't mind talking since the response was so publicly great in the Players Council. I don't mind talking about that, but I don't think now is the right time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think
we'll hang off on that.
Yeah,
plus,
we'll
the other
off.
thing is, I mean, no insult by this DDO community. You guys are lovely, and I am part of you. generally when the initial feedback is, "Oh my God, this is all great," maybe it's too powerful.
That's no, you know what? I had to fight Severlin and Tolero in the parking lot in order to get this ad. Okay, yeah. I've had a sword at my desk for 2 years now in order to get this to happen.
Yeah.
No, fascinating. It's not changing. We recognize that there's some weird things happening with offensive songs, but in order to keep this within scope, we are limiting this to defensive buff bard songs. We're also not changing the relative balance of the class and their DPS. I appreciate that you have great suggestions about how to make bard better, but I have to do other things this update besides just work on bard.
Right. This is not. That's a very good point. That we should kind of clarify that this is not a quote bard pass.
Yeah.
This is a bard song pass. So we're not looking at any of the enhancement trees. We're not doing any of the kind of underlying
broke a lot
stuff
of stuff
going on
trees.
there.
I did break a lot of enhancement trees. People were mad at me about that, but
sure.
No, this is very much we're getting this in now while we have the chance.
Yeah.
Because the timeline wise, we got to start working on Sharon and making sure Sharon is just the best experience. Like we gotta.
Yeah.
I know you guys loved Ravenloft. But like already, even like the proof of concept stuff for Sharon is gonna blow Ravenloft out of the water, and we gotta nail it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Sharon's
yeah. We got plans. We have plans with like a TM after them. We got plans.
It'll be real cool. But you're right. It's too early to talk about that. In addition to some of the kind of raid loot stuff that you were.
I mean, we announced Sharon, right? Like I didn't just.
Oh no.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
we've announced Sharon.
Okay, good.
We've not announced the thing that just went to the players' council.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that.
So,
I'm not talking about that. That's okay.
All right, let's see.
Actually, this is one. Yeah, so we're keeping it just songs so we can just slide it in there for U41.
Secular Squirrel says, can we basically add intelligence to hit and damage in the Tiefling tree? I mean, theoretically we could, but I think...
Charisma. Tieflings are very charismatic.
Yeah.
I would not say that they're intelligent.
Yeah.
So, I mean... Historically, racial trees is where we have placed irregular hit and damage.
But we have Harper, so I can't imagine us wanting to have a second channel for intelligence to hit and damage. I mean, just take Harper if that's what your concern is, right?
Well, rogues and bards both get intelligence to damage, but not to hit. And bards also get charisma to damage, but not to hit. We don't have a universal tree or a racial tree, except for Purple Dragon Knight, but only for certain weapons and... If you just don't want to play a Purple Dragon Knight, it really limits you. It's just like we're working on it. We can only do so much.
Yep. Speaking of working on it, SJ Hots has a question about can we address the quote monk key shout situation?
It doesn't work. It would take a significant amount of work for it to make it work the way that it did before. Something fundamentally changed in how we handled skills. And we're really sorry that it's currently broken. We can maybe try and fudge it so that it's less broken, but in order to actually make it work as described, it would take a significant amount of engineering time.
So what we'll probably end up doing is changing the functionality of it to match something that's more supportable.
Yeah, I have absolutely no problem about replacing it with something that isn't fundamentally broken, but there are some crunchy parts of DDO, and this is definitely one of them. And it's not ideal, and we're sorry.
Yep. What server am I on? I am on Thalanis. I couldn't actually remember because it's been such a whirlwind couple of weeks. Whether I've been on Thalanis once or twice. So if this is my third time, I guess I've been sorry.
I've never once been there.
But I'm also not sorry because I've got this character I want to get all the Night Revels XP from. This has been one of my main kind of Night Revels earning characters here. I've got the I'm just at the level 19 right now, and I kind of want to get that 18 to 22 hump done through Night Revels here, and I think I can probably achieve this goal pretty easily. So
I've actually farmed out what I wanted from the Night Revels at this point. I wanted to get the Runearm, which I fell in love with. So that actually, fun fact, I joined the team roughly 2 years ago. Now at this point,
get closer to the mic. So
oh yeah, 2.5 years. But like the first thing that I suggested was a spooky rune arm that shoots ghosts.
I know it.
And it's finally happened.
I don't have that. Oh, by the way, I saw something on the forums. Let me actually double check.
Is it the
that.
collision reporting stuff with the?
No, it was someone was saying that the min level 20 version of that rune arm is actually 21.
It's supposed to be 21.
Okay, but it's 20 when you equip it.
Is it?
That's what someone was saying.
That sounds pretty working as intended to me. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what would make it do that. And
Yeah, I just saw that on the forums this morning, but I haven't had a chance to follow up on that. So.
Rune arm minimum levels have this thing where they
Yeah.
just do things, and I don't really know how rune arms work. They're 6 spells and a nightmare. I don't know. For a while, it was level 28 on the epic levels, and I couldn't figure out why, and I finally figured that out before it launched,
Nice.
which is good. Oh god, we were thinking about for another rune arm. I don't know if I want to call it the astral slide or the money shot. It shoots astral shards. And it would actually deduct from your because we could do that.
Oh yeah. That's been
that.
a long-standing internal joke is that we should have a. We tell our
The
e-commerce
platinum
team about
projector.
this that it's the platinum projector. I was thinking more the rune arm that shoots astral shards.
Oh,
you
I
know?
should have done that for the platinum dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, I put so much work into making the really gaudy, shiny platinum weapons, and I completely it shoots platinum. That'd be great.
Nice. How about we do an eternity run? Does that sound okay? Okay, let me see. Sorry, Secular, we really can't spoil anything about Sharon at this point, so...
Anything could happen.
You do say you need a rune arm that shoots tiny kobolds. Well, maybe that isn't going to happen. There was a really great thing that Torque put together at one point, where a kobold was stuck into the wall and kind of waving its hands. Did you see that?
We could
totally do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it would get past licensing, but it would be really great.
You know what I can spoil about Sharon?
Be very careful. Oh, you're making a dungeon?
I'm making a dungeon for Sharon. Yes, that's right. If you thought I was erratic and bad at my job now, just you wait.
Nice.
It's going to be great.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we have to be real careful, because we have not announced anything about Sharon yet. So,
I'm actually not even sure if I'm going to have time to make a dungeon, is the thing. Like, this. It was one of those things where they're like, hey, do you want to do this? And I went, yes, absolutely. And now I'm like, I don't know if that was a good scheduling decision.
Javor says, Gravework needs better drops. There's a lot of dead Minotaurs to kill. I don't know that I agree with that.
They're optional, technically.
Yeah, they're totally optional, not even technically. I've been running a lot of that quest because I needed ingredients to get my Vargweel head and everything, and we just bypassed most of that. I mean, all you need to do is just go to the Necromancer, kill the Necromancer, take the thing into the thing, go to kill enough stuff to unlock the gate, do that, and pop on back. It's like a
Don't forget the pumpkin patch monster.
You don't need that, though.
It's a star. It's a star. You get extra ingredients.
Yeah, okay. But even so, I mean, I'm talking about a 5-minute run on that thing, so I really don't know that...
I mean, the developer who put that together put so much effort into the Supreme Pumpkin that I actually consider it disservice.
Yeah, that's true.
To their honor.
And you're right, you do get more ingredients, so it's worth doing. I mean, I like it. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that increasing the ingredients because of that optional objective would be a wise decision. I apologize.
From what I know about challenge ingredient awarding...
Yeah, okay, so
it's a
see
mess.
Wonderpuff, I generally assume I'm wrong when people say things like that, but in this case I'm right. You don't get a star for that pumpkin.
For the pumpkin patch?
No. Yep.
Alright, well, and I do it out of just devotion to the game.
Yeah.
Clearly.
You get a chest, but you don't get... Yeah.
Clearly. No, that was, I think, the first dungeon that developer has made since she joined the project, I think.
Yeah, that was someone who joined as an intern at the same time you did, I believe, right? The second time?
The second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both were hired as interns for SSG at the same time.
Yeah.
But I was an intern at Turbine before that.
Before that,
yes.
yeah. And I
We're
don't
twin
really want to
turns.
give her name or anything because she doesn't have a forum name, so I don't want to give her.
You
real
guys
name
scared
out.
her off.
Yeah. Well, maybe at some point we'll
I
do
scared
that,
her
but
off. How about
yeah.
that?
Oh, wait a second. Someone we have a debate about whether or not it gives a star. So I guess half of us are wrong, and we'll just have to figure out
No,
which
you
one
do
it
get a star
is.
for the pumpkin. Twitch
Okay.
chat has agreed with me. Therefore, I am the winner.
Will we get a Veteran 3 event soon? I don't know that that's on the short-term agenda. That was something we did kind of special for Ravenloft here, but it's not a bad idea. I will put a bug in the ear of our kind of the folks who put together our bonus calendar to see if maybe there's a good like kind of holiday weekend or something like that that might make sense to do something like that. So perhaps. All right, let me head over to YouTube chat for just a few seconds. Oh, and I just died because I wasn't paying attention.
To quickly answer a Twitch thing about key shout, from my understanding, it's that the DC is sourcing the wrong ability and it's intrinsically tied to the skill Intimidate. So you, as the DC is just a little wonky, and that's the part we can't necessarily have any real progress on, but the rest of the ability should work. You guys are just, we're really sorry about that. It's the same problem that's happening to Lock Bash, the half-orc Lock Bash. Yeah, Steel Star knows a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah, he's the one that's been looking into it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other options might be a Dwarf Artificer for an Iconic. That's always made some sense, but I think the reason we don't do that is because Artificer is a paid class.
Yeah, I think it's not a hard rule, but we do want to shy away from making you pay for an iconic and then pay for the class that it is. And it's not necessarily, we wouldn't have a very good way of explaining that to players who are just looking to play as that specific thing. And iconics are a little weird compared to character creation normally anyway.
Yeah.
But we definitely have a lot of room to...
Also, Snow White Fox, you were correct. Killing a pumpkin monster is its own reward.
That's true.
All right, over on Facebook, Beautiful Dragon, thank you so much. We've been digging this Eternity fight for a while now.
That was actually the thing that got me to DDO.
Yep.
Like
Oh, the
back
Eternity?
in, yeah,
thing?
2010.
Okay.
And like one of the first Maybar. This is back when it's still Maybar runs. I was a free-to-play player, and I think at that point it was still my first character ever. It wasn't the one that became my main. It was my first character ever, which was to say, I wanted to be a paladin, but then forgot to choose that at character creation. So I was half fighter, half cleric. And as it turns out, you can't. They don't come together to make. You know what I mean? Like what I wanted was a thing. I just had to build it with component parts, and I don't know why I did that. But seeing that dragon for the first time was what made me decide to stick with DDO.
Nice. And that's funny. My first character was a fighter because I figured, you know, at that point I was less familiar with 3.5 because I had still been playing mostly first and second edition because I'm old school that way. And I was just like, well, since I don't know all the intricacies of 3.5, I know you can make a fighter and just go strength and con and you're probably fine. So I went and did that at the time. So yeah.
My first pen and paper 3.5 character was a Warforged sorcerer with the wand wrist experience. And
Nice.
wow, was I bad at understanding and reading books back in middle school when I made that. That was not good. Oh god. No, my first actual real go-through was, in fact, a paladin when I wised up to the fact that what I was looking for was actually just its own class, rather than
Nice.
just trying to multi-class.
Yeah, I've been known to do that myself. So, yeah, sorry, Z Wonderpuff, if I took your comment out of perspective or something like that. I didn't mean to be offensive or anything like that. I apologize if perhaps I attributed something to you that should not have been.
Yeah,
Wasn't my
Warforged
intention.
are completely rad. I completely agree. Guy whose name I can't read because it's green on white, but I'm assuming you're cool. Warforged is great. I've always really wanted to do the thing where Warforged just sink in water. Like, we just make the material to the water collision plane, so they just walk on the floor. So, like, oh, swimming section, never mind, you're stuck at the bottom of a pit. Good luck.
Nice. I don't typically play Warforged. I don't know what it is about.
They're awesome.
I just have never really done it. Except for Shroud Palooza this Saturday, I'm actually going to be playing my Blade Forged, who is looking extremely cool. Like, extremely cool.
The Night Revels cosmetics that are just, they now have the Warforged APRs hooked up. Oh my good gracious.
Yeah.
They look so terrifyingly great. And, like, Blade Forged have, like, the spikes and then the Night Revels spikes and then the cloak. Like, they are awesome. Like, if you guys didn't know, the Night Revels Reaper armors, like the cool black and blue and then the black and green and black and red, those work on Warforged now, and they look super rad. Like, seriously pick those up.
Now, this may not happen, but we have sort of set a trend of doing a new color on the traditional Night Revels armor every year. What do you want for next year?
It's purple. It was Seb with green and me with purple, and I lost that argument. And
I'm down. Yeah,
God,
I would like purple. There's also a part of me that feels like a shiny black might be really cool.
Shiny. So I continue to argue for black on black, but it just doesn't look as good as you think it does. Is the thing, and like, you know me, I'm the biggest edgelord you've ever met, probably, and like I wear black on black in my normal. This is the most color I've worn in a very long time. Is this light gray, but black on black just doesn't. Like, it has to be different types of black, and it just doesn't look that good. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Purple is my choice.
Yeah, I'm down for purple. That sounds good.
I will absolutely throw Rob under the bus. That was all Sev's fault that we got green. Clearly, even though everyone loves it, except for me, purple should have been it.
I'm really happy with that green. I kind of think that was the right choice. But yes, purple would have been a perfectly fine choice as well.
Purple or rainbow. Also, like, ghostly white.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool,
ghostly
too.
White. But I'm happy that we got the teal crown because that matches.
I mean, we already started with the blue, so we've met the Tron quotient, which is really all I care about. So, yeah.
No, I'm at this point, the thing I'm most happy about for Night Revels is the Runearm appearances, and we have a few alternate versions of that, just waiting for the perfect time to strike.
Yeah.
I don't know if bright pink. I don't think bright pink would work. That would.
So Secular Squirrel, theoretically, you're right that if you wanted to do an iconic on a paid class, you could adjust the cost of the iconic so that the person would be like, okay, well, so I'm still getting somewhat of a deal because I still have to buy the class on top of that. But there's also a kind of a business reality, which is it would be a customer service burden due to a not insignificant number of people not reading that or not catching that or just generally running into issues where they made the purchase and then were like, well, you mean I can't do the thing, you know? So you would have, it's less straightforward than perhaps you would think on it. Overall, it's just not a good rule. It's not a rule per se, but it's not a good idea in general to do that.
And plus, there are quite a few free-to-play classes that are still available.
Yep.
And generally speaking, our goals with Iconics is not to necessarily match them with what would be the best thematic class, but to a variant class.
Mm-hmm.
And as much so that if you want to play the cookie cutter experience, like, you just go with the regular race. But if you wanted to play something weird, that's when the Iconics come in.
I've always been, this has been a long-standing live stream suggestion, but I've always been a big fan of the idea of a Moradin dwarf. That would make a lot of sense.
A Raven dwarf?
Follower Moradin,
yes.
or Moradin, however you want to say it, which would basically be like a, iconic Warhammer dwarf.
All right, I see what you're saying. I'll raise you, Dwarf Battle Rager Barbarian.
That would be pretty cool too. Yeah.
Just imagine hugging him. You're covered in spikes.
Yes, gosh. But I can't use the name Iron Maiden, so I'm less interested.
quick answering chat question. It was absolutely, completely, 100% my idea to do the blue crown, although it was definitely picked up by a very talented effects artist to actually color it, because we can spray paint, like we can render color some of our VFX, and so obviously what I did first was like, I'm just gonna do that. It looked terrible. But from the ground up, that is a completely new piece of visual effects, and it only looks so great because of so we have some real talent on our art team.
For sure. Okay, someone was saying, yes, we did talk about bard changes.
I can keep talking about bard changes. I love bards. Bards are great.
Yep. So we kind of have covered just about everything other than some of the granular sort of enhancement tree stuff. There is a forum post up about that in the official discussion forums. That's where you should probably go to get info on that.
Oh yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions for what we should do with the Inspiring Echoes aspect of the Elid Edge, the Epic Elid Edge, please let me know, because I'm ready to throw that rapier down the toilet. It is the original implementation of Elid Edge, like the Inspiring Echoes, is probably one of the most singular reasons why we could not really iterate on bard songs as a concept, because it is just technically was not a great thing to introduce, and making big AoEs and checking where players are is very costly, and it was very costly for us to create. So if you guys have any cool suggestions for what that rapier could do that don't start and end with the thing it does currently, please let me know, because it'd be great to give it the honor it deserves, because it's a fantastic item. And I don't want to destroy it in the wake of these sweeping changes.
Yeah, right. So a Titan has been kind of pinging chat saying, do a +1 weapon song, and I think that would be.
That would
be just too much.
We were considering, because there's a hole in War Chanter right now in the tier 3 or tier 4. There's a gap, and I was considering adding another chant in, because it's a lot easier to add those in now. And I was thinking about like bonuses to tactics, like +1, 2, 3 tactics, and like something else. I can't think of what that something else is. So if you guys have suggestions for that, let me know.
Yeah.
Usually I'd ask the players' council, but they're busy talking about other stuff, and I don't want to derail them. But yeah, I'm like something I want. Elid Edge needs to be something awesome, because right now what I have it hooked up is that if you have Elid Edge, you have Inspiring Echoes, and you use Bardic Inspiration on someone else, it uses it on you, which technically does save you a bard song, but it's not as fun. I recognize that. So worst case, it's going to end up less fun rather than completely broken. But it'd be nice if it was more fun, you know? So just throw out suggestions.
Yeah, I don't actually have a good one on that one myself. Elid Edge is a historically long been kind of a go-to bard weapon, but I haven't used it in quite some time myself.
I want it to be cool, and not just for something about some other stuff that might be happening. It definitely, people put a lot of time and effort into farming one of them up, and it's a very, very unique and distinctive. It's like, honestly, the bard icon is that weapon. It's very bardic.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame if it ended up less cool than it is right now.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Sadly, I actually have to go buy lunch at some point.
Yep.
So
all
I might
right.
take
Thank
off.
you so much. I appreciate you being here. It's nice to have you in the live stream chat.
Anytime.
Come back soon.
Literally anytime. I will climb in through a window.
Nice. See ya. If I can figure out how to do that. Yep, there we go. Alright, you are off. Yep. Alright, so let us go for this pumpkin so that we can determine once and for all, scientifically, whether or not you get a star for it. How about a bard instrument that looks like a BC-rich warlock guitar? I like it. Yeah. Spell DCs for, presumably you're talking about that thing. That might be a possibility. Warhammers with retracting chains that have a throw and return action. That's interesting. That's a cool idea, I guess. I don't think that would make sense for a thing of Moradin, though, would it? Yeah, it should give you a star because it's right there on a star objective. And yes, it does. Yay! I wasn't denying that you don't know what you're talking about. As a matter of fact, I clearly know that when I ask the DDO community, you can crowdsource answers in a way that you can with few other communities, because our D&D and DDO communities are amazing. Speaking of D&D stuff, I don't know if you guys were able to check out the D&D night we did last Sunday. Patrick from DDocast was joined by Lessa and a whole bunch of really cool people to do that 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/DDO stream right here. We're doing pen and paper every Sunday night with kind of a rotating cast of DMs and players. And starting this Sunday will be a 3-parter where little ol' me gets to be DM. So if you've ever wondered what it would be like to have me as your dungeon master, for good or ill, this is going to be your opportunity to do it. I'm doing a very tightly plotted 3-parter that's a Halloween adventure. So I would love it if you guys were able to stop on by. Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern is when it's going to start. It'll go about 2.5 hours each session. We're doing exactly 3 sessions the next 3 Sundays in a row. I'm calling it The Witch and the Woods. And it's something I've been kind of, I don't want to say perfecting or anything, because, you know, whatever, maybe it won't be. But it's been something it's a concept of dungeon mastering that I've been working on for the last couple of years, where you really minimize, like, the random encounters, the sitting there at your campsite, the resting stuff, a lot of the kind of less critical encounters, and really focus on tightly replacing that with a real kind of crunchy plot, while still being able to retain interactivity and a lot of player choice as to how the story unfolds. You know, one of the things that kind of prompted me to do this is I love story. But one of the challenges as a dungeon master is you can write up a full story and then players just do the opposite thing. Well, how do you still achieve those objectives when you've got a full group of people and allow them to do whatever you want? Some DMs simply respond to that by going and perhaps railroading them a little bit toward whatever objective it is that they want, right? But if you don't want to do that, and some players feel like, hey, you're taking away my power when you force me to act a certain way or go a certain way, or no matter what I do, this is what's going to happen. I want to try to come up with a system where you can achieve all of those goals at once, where players really feel like they have the ability to collaborate and shape the story while also being able to have a tightly plotted event. And it's something I've done twice before on the tabletop side, where I did 2 exactly 3-session campaigns, and think of them quite tightly plotted in the same way you would a novel. You've got Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. You know, a 3-act play, so to speak, and you try to work to keep the campaign along those lines. But at the same time, you want to have the flexibility where the players can do what they want and figure out their own journey. So it takes a lot of collaboration, a little bit of kind of improv skills, but it's been really successful the last 2 times I did it. And I'm hoping that this one gets to be as successful as the rest. And this will be my first time doing it live on Twitch. So I'm hoping you guys and gals want to stop on by and check it out. It's going to be a fun time. I've got Bonnie Bew and Jaculetta. I've got Alex and Lynn from Sunday's show here on DDO stream. Evan's joining me as well. So we got a really nice cast, and that should be real cool. Why don't we do a series with the same DM, then rotate like Mercer and the actual D&D 5e crew? So the way we're doing it is every Sunday there will be D&D night on DDO stream. The first Sunday will be me. The second Sunday will be Patrick. The third Sunday will be, at this point it's either going to be Even or Bonnie. And then the fourth will be Kevin Melka, Evil Beaker. And the reason we're doing it that way is, unlike, say, Critical Role or something like that, this isn't our jobs, right? And we have families and we've got other commitments, and we can't really dedicate every Sunday for a couple months or 6 months or whatever it ends up being to be able to do this. Just because the reality of the world is people, especially with when we're introducing a group of players and all that as well, we just can't all commit to that, right? But we want to do a weekly thing. So instead, each group is committing to one Sunday a month. And this is ideally, and I think, going to work out really well that way. That way there's a level of consistency in the campaigns, but at the same time we're able to offer... Oops, where didn't I go? Here we go. While not putting too much of a burden on everybody. So... I know, I did, right? Yep. That's very awesome. Wanatuck, I'm really looking forward to that. All roads lead to Rome can be restricted. Yeah, that's... You'll see. You'll see how I do it, ideally, if everything is successful there. So... And by the way, we absolutely do intend to do some DDO Dungeons, D&D tabletop style. This is going to happen. It won't happen right away. I've got my plans for this Halloween thing, and Patrick is doing a campaign, and Kevin's got his Saving Saba Jade campaign. But we will absolutely be doing tabletopping some DDO Dungeons here as well. Hello from Brazil, Skullfox on YouTube. Awesome. How about a Monk Earth stance fix? John over on Facebook says. Remind me what specifically is wrong with the Monk Earth stance? I'm sorry, I am not off the top of my head familiar with that one. I apologize. I don't think I've done Under New Ravagement on the live stream here, so why don't we do this one? Sounds like we don't know what the new key shot will do since we're still looking into it. Yeah, I think that's the case. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Steel Star or Linabel maybe had some ideas about it, but at this point it's not something we'd want to talk about publicly, because I just don't think it's a settled question. We know it's broken, we know we need to fix it, And we know that its current implementation cannot be realistically fixed as it is, so we're going to have to come up with something else for it. Bonus this week. I will get to that in a second. We're not being chased around by a mummy. Someone something to tell. No, I know for sure. This may actually be my third week on Thelanis. I can't remember if it's my second or third. But nonetheless, this is my final week this cycle on Thelanis. So next week I will be on Wayfinder. And my Wayfinder character is, I think, around 28. I'll probably end up doing Night Revel stuff. Ah, thank you so much, S.J. Holtz. That's awesome. Alright, let me... Someone asked if I play other MMOs. You know, as a matter of professional education, I have certainly checked out quite a few other MMOs. The only other one I'm playing with any regularity right now is our other game, Lord of the Rings Online. And the reality is my world doesn't permit me to do a lot of that, because I also do play a lot of like PS4 games, retro games, other PC games, things like that. Two MMOs is about all I can handle. Ooh, we got a good one. So this weekend's boost is going to be a plus 20% Reaper XP boost. Reaper boost 20%. And that's going to be quite awesome, I believe. So if you ever wanted to run some Reaper stuff, this is the weekend for you. Night Revels, of course, does continue through November 4th. So we got a couple more weekends of that. Take a look at the Bard changes on the forums, if you would. We got some other stuff I know that'll be coming down the line in the relatively near future as well. I don't know of a patch on the horizon anytime soon. We are working, other than as we've kind of mentioned Sharon stuff, we are working on a December update, as that'll be something around the range of a free dungeon similar to what we've done in previous Decembers. In addition, we're going to, what can I say? There'll probably be some level of how about Kobold's newest ring leader? We should be able to get that done in around 5 minutes here. Some level of the caster pass should be in the December update as well. I don't know if it'll be everything or if it'll just be some of it and what have you. But we have a few other kind of nice pieces that I don't think we've talked about yet as well that may be in that update. So that's the next thing really to look forward to. A second. Someone wanted to donate a stack of keys because they saw me buying them in the DDO store. It's fine. These are not my real money. As a DDO point god, I get to give myself free points for these kind of things. So. What is the Chaz class? I'm not sure what you mean. My class is just pure cleric. I like my clerics. Oh, some of the hires are scarecrowing. That is called T-posing. Is there a fix for that? Yes. Good point. I would imagine sometime between now and December we would actually have a patch that'll probably include a fix for that. What happens is that's sort of the default spawn pose of a avatar. It's called a T-pose, and it's how they're sort of built and arted up by our artists and animators. And so if there's a kind of a missing file, or if it's trying to reference something that doesn't exist or something like that, they'll spawn in a T-pose state and then not move out of it. So that's what's happening on a couple of those hirelings right now. And that's related, that's a halo of some of the work that we've been doing on cloaks. So that should be, I would imagine, fixed in a patch at some point here in the relatively near future. No, haven't actually heard about any kind of win on that. We might do a patch though, so no real guidance there. We would like to do a cosmetic storage system of some kind. There's going to be a not insignificant amount of work to make that happen. Hopefully that's something though that we can do at some point in the future. Yep, bonus is 20% Reaper XP. There's kind of a conversation about Norse gods happening. There's zero chance that we would have a real-life sort of ethos? Pathos? Whatever it's called. Religion. Directly available in DDO. It is going to be either Forgotten Realms or Eberron. If we were to do something like that. Hence, the Moradin thing is certainly possible. Yes, Titan, for the Tiefling, we absolutely do intend to have both the tail and the horns. Are hirelings getting cloaks? I don't think so. That's a good question. I don't think so. Yep. How do we upgrade old Sentinel loot now that the sigils are gone? You don't. You get the new loot instead. It's plentiful. And you no longer need to upgrade it at all. So just go get the new loot. So Secular has been asking a little bit about different mimics. They would be different monsters that we would create, essentially. It would be different varieties of mimic. Never say never on that, but it's not something I've heard of any plans for us to do. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. Mythos. Oh, thank you so much for that one. Alright. Alright, that's going to wrap it up with the live stream. I will get you guys a DDO points code in-game later on today. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week on Wayfinder, Wednesday at noon. We have got... actually, one other piece I should bring up here. We are doing a 12-hour marathon on Saturday, right here on DDO stream. All be on from noon to 4. And then we have Shroud Palooza from 4 to 7. After Shroud Palooza, McVegan Pants is going to be on, and then we'll wrap up the night with Doug Glendower. All of our live streaming on Saturday is going to be in service to Extra Life. We're doing an Extra Life fundraiser to raise money for the Boston Children's Hospital and other Children's Miracle Network hospitals. That is happening on both the DDO and Lotro side this year, so if you would like to participate, you can find a thread on the DDO forums that has some incentives you can get and things like that for your donation. Hope to see you on Saturday, and I hope to see you on Sunday night for my D&D night, 7 o'clock. You can find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Hope you're having fun with Night Revels. Hope you're having a good time, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.